we're waiting now.
Some of it,
Oh, weird.
We have to be able to hear our Mayor Pro Tem's comments. Everybody got their mic on?
Mr. Mayor, Trustee Kelp called in, on his way home and work home and sent it back to the field. So if you want to apologize for that.
Okay. I call to order the Platteville Board of Trustees meeting for August 15, 2017. Could we have a moment of silence, please, to honor the people who stand guard inside and outside our borders to protect and serve? Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Steve Nelson,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Hope Morris,
Here.
Larry Clark,
Here.
Adrian Sandoval,
Here.
Kim Nelson,
Here.
Michael Cowper, Troy Blum.
Here.
Okay, next we have approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Audience participation. I'm going to defer to our town manager on this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Travis, you step to the podium, please. I'd like to introduce to the board Travis Herger. He's our new code enforcement technician. And before I say much more, I'm going to turn over to Travis to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Travis Hergert. I'm glad to be here, excited to be part of this team, and I think first civilian employee that's going to be doing code enforcement, and so kind of a new role, but pretty excited. My family has farmed and ranched in this community for a few years, and so I have some deep ties to the community and to the town, and very excited. I went to Platteville Elementary, and then right next door to South Valley, and then on to Valley. Went to CSU in Fort Collins, and then I spent about 15 years as a police officer, and took a early retirement to help full-time on the farm, and so now kind of transitioning and work in kind of a part-time, full-time capacity as code enforcement. So neat town, and super excited to be a part of it.
Welcome. We're really excited to have you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And just to follow up with what Travis said, Larry Day will meet his family. I think he'll make it tonight, but for the last couple weeks he's been focusing on Platteville, but then here shortly he'll be working in Gilchrist a couple days a week. I talked to Trudy. I think, is it tomorrow again, you work with Stateville, their inspector, I believe, to kind of get on to what they've been working on. But it'll be mostly here, part-time in Platteville or Gilchrist, and then just went to an ADA training that Mr. Brandon obviously previously went to. There's a second part next month, so he'll be doing some of that compliance. Lots to do, but driving around Travis, he knows a lot more people than I do.
That might could be a good thing.
Could be a good thing. So, don't want him to write his uncle or his cousin for a lot already, but we'll get to that point. But Travis, welcome forward.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You choke up on that mic just a little bit. I can hear you really good once in a while. Thank you.
I don't care for you.
Well, everything he says, we all have to
I am leaning forward, so.
cherish and grasp. Okay, next, we have approval of the consent agenda, which consists of regular meeting minutes for August 1st, 2017, the refuse contract from BNC, community center construction contract, the financials, and the paid bills. Being there's so much money involved, may I have a roll call, please?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Oh,
I know that's what you meant.
no, that's not what I meant. I get ahead of myself all the time. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Would you like to be mayor for a while? Okay. May I now have a roll call, please?
Larry Clark,
Aye.
Adrian Sandoval,
Aye.
Kim Nelson,
Aye.
Michael Cowper, Hope Morris,
Yes.
Troy Blum.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Keep me squared away here. Okay, next action items. Ordinance 753. Mr. Manager?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Recently, our town attorney sent us this ordinance, recently the legislation change. Probably, or wholly by your partner.
Yes.
From Corey.
Sorry.
We are now able to enforce, or not enforce, but send driving under restraint revocation to municipal court instead of district court. And talked to Carl about it in the police department, he didn't have any grievance about the change, I don't think. So, I know the officers on occasion get quite a few of these violations, so they come into our court instead. So it just allows to amend the municipal code to have the officer write that into municipal court instead.
It used to have to be written into county court
Yeah.
and then prosecuted by the county DA and taken from there. Now it's a municipal offense. So this includes if someone doesn't pay a ticket and then they get a restraint order from the state, then they get what's called a restraint on their driver's license. And then if they continue to drive, correct me if I'm misstating this, but they continue to drive and then they get pulled over, they get charged with driving under restraint, or DUR as we call it. Again, that used to have to go to county, and then who knows what happened. Now we can take that locally, impose a fine, no jail time, but a fine, and then it will go back to the state to impose points. So they'll get additional points on their driver's license.
Is this something that we pursued to have down to our level, or is there?
It was something, yeah, so the
push it?
Colorado Municipal League pushed it, a lot of the police officer associations pushed it. We weren't getting a lot of enforcement, and maybe you can shed some light on that too. It was tough to enforce before, because what people would do is simply not pay, particularly municipal fines. And then there was really no repercussion, because then they would get a driving under restraint ticket in county, and then they would plead it down to a lower offense, and we would still never get paid, so nobody was really taking it seriously. So that's where this came from.
So, can I ask your opinion, or what's your opinion on that part?
No,
Not that it could change anything, I'm just curious.
Sure, no, I love the idea. We ride a lot of them, the highways, and there's actually quite a lot of motorists out there that don't have a license. So I like that we leave it on a municipal kind of level and leave it local. I love the idea.
Thank you.
This isn't going to end up costing us money, is it?
No. I mean, other than the hour it took me to draft the ordinance, no.
Well, no, what I'm thinking of as time goes on, if they don't bother to get a driver's license, are they going to bother to pay a fine? Are we going to be spending time prosecuting them, and then they still get a walk? I mean, there's no real sanctions, is there?
Well, I mean, I think that's, again, I'll defer, but that's the case with anyone. If they're not going to pay, necessarily they're not going to pay. At least we have it locally, we can impose the fine locally. We can send fines to collection agencies if we need to, and we pay for that. I don't know if you've ever done that, but we pay for that service, but then we collect a portion of the fine due, and those collection agencies can fine people anywhere. I mean, it, they'll find them, garnish their wages, take whatever they can.
And we have to on occasion pass, and they take a fee of that, so we can get some money in return.
I guess it's worth a shot. I do have one question, though. When you pull somebody over and they don't have a driver's license, and you issue a citation, do they drive away?
No. We'll either make them have a ride home located or walk, or we'll impound their car even if they don't have a license. If they're not allowed to have, to operate that, then it'll usually, we'll impound it unless they have someone that can meet us out there right away and we can release it over to them. But no, we don't let them leave if they don't have a license, they don't have a license. This is an arrestable offense also, I'll add that. We'll write it in a municipal court, but if we decided that we wanted to write it into Weld County and make an arrest, that's an option. So it's the officer's,
Okay.
Right.
discretion which route they go with that. And also, if someone's license is revoked, I mean, that's an alcohol-related. If it's alcohol-related, my understanding is we don't write those in a municipal court.
Right.
We will always arrest on those because they lost it for a more serious of a reason, I guess you could say. So we'll arrest on revocations, and even if we decided to, for one reason or another, we can still make an arrest on it and not write it in a municipal court, but at least it's our option. It's our option which route we want to go with that.
That's a good point. This is not mandatory, it's optional. So if it's more serious, we want to write it into county and let the DA deal with it, that's fine. So,
Okay. And that was my concern, and you answered it completely. Does this have any teeth? And it does.
it does,
They're inconvenienced to a large degree.
yes.
Okay, that was my only concern. I just thought that we were doing this and they would get a ticket, they would drive home and then never show up again, and then it would just be in perpetuity until the next time they were caught. So we do have some sanctions. Thank you, I appreciate that.
That's all we have.
Anybody have any questions or comments on this? I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 753, an ordinance of the Board of Trustees of the Town of Platteville, adding a new section 81-50 to the Platteville Municipal Code regarding driving under restraint or suspension.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Next, Resolution 2017-21. Mr. Rankin.
Thank you. This resolution, along with Resolution 22, 23, and 24, all four resolutions are part of the final stage of annexing a portion of Highway 66 from geographically speaking, County Road 21 to the east of Lebanon of the St. Rain River Bridge. I did put up, me, I like visuals, so I did put up a map for the annexation map right behind Mary here. So previously, earlier this year, as you well know, we annexed from County Road 30 down to 24 and 85 from Division Street here in Platteville Elementary School out to County Road 21. Those have now come to fruition. Those are complete. So our goal was, going into this as a governing body and staff, is to get out to the bridge to meet to annex to the west abutment a couple years ago. So what you have for you, in front of you tonight, are the four resolutions. So we have to do this in sequential series, is to get from County Road 21 to here. And based upon the scheduling, it's just like you went through before. There'll be five public hearings.
Public notice,
Public
one
notice.
hearing.
Public notices. At the conclusion, the board will have a public hearing. I can't remember that exact date, but I think it's October 5th, October. And then it'll go into effect in November, roughly timeframe, just rough timeframe. And we have not received any comment back on the previous two annexations. I don't know if I anticipate any comment back from anybody, municipalities or residents on this one, but there may be, we'll see.
So we'll be responsible for policing those roads as of November.
Correct, and as we go on the budget, that's something that Chief and I talked about, that we'll need to talk to the board about, because there are impacts, traffic impacts, and accident impacts on those roads that we're going to look into.
Sure.
So this starts your process for the last annexation piece on 66 to the St. Marie River Bridge. And you have to approve each resolution individually.
So we can't say 21 through 24.
No.
No, they have to go in a row, so to do the first one first, then the next one. Same thing we'll have to do with the actual ordinance at the time of the public hearing.
Yes. So I just want to cover all four at the same time.
Okay.
Approve them individually.
I have a question about your map.
Sure.
The annexation areas are in that kind of lime green color?
No, those are joint property owners that
Oh.
we noticed that could have come in.
Oh,
So we did notice those, but,
It's really just along the highway then?
it is along the highway. It's just a right of way, so it's a CDOT right of way from ditch to ditch.
Okay.
We have no maintenance responsibilities, but we have basically no public works responsibilities. But mainly it's, police patrol. So, and Carl is anxiously waiting for the first accident call on 66.
Right. Now we won't have to wait.
You have reports and statistics and things to go off of to prepare for, I guess.
Yeah, yes. I don't have them yet, but I sure can.
Sure. Okay.
We've already had more than one on Highway 66 and by the way station, Southline Highway 85. We didn't have to work them yet,
Right.
just this week. They should have, we should have, but it wasn't recorded or it wasn't updated on the maps, and so we were sure nice enough to let them work them for us.
Okay.
So does that go to dispatch and
Mhm.
into the different, the sheriff's department and the state patrol then instead? That you have those areas now?
Yeah, they didn't even let us know about it. We had to look on the map and say, oh, this should be ours, but one of them was a rollover semi, and that was a hazmat situation, and I was more than happy to let them sit there all day.
Anything else? Okay, I would entertain a motion on this.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2017-21, a resolution accepting the petition for annexation and establishing October 3rd, 2017 as the date of public hearing on the requested annexation of a parcel of unincorporated territory located in Wells County, State Highway 66, annexation number 4. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Next, Resolution 2017-22. Would you like to comment on this, Mr. Manager?
No, sir.
Okay, we will, anybody have any questions on this?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2017-22, a resolution accepting the petition for annexation and establishing October 3rd, 2017 as the date of public hearing on the requested annexation of a parcel of unincorporated territory located in Weld County, State Highway 66, annexation number 5.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next, Resolution 2017-23. Mr. Rainey, do you have any comments on this one?
No, sir. I do not.
Okay, we'll go right to it. If if nobody has anything, we'll just entertain a motion.
Make motion to accept Resolution 2017-23, a resolution accepting the petition for annexation and establishing October 3rd, 2017 as the date of public hearing on the requested annexation of a parcel of unincorporated territory located in Weld County, State Highway 66, annexation 6.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
You trying to rush this meeting?
Well, I'm on a roll now. I don't even have time to wait for people. Let the record show that Adrian seconded that before I interrupted her.
Who did the motion? Sorry.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Resolution 2017-24. I'm just going to skip right to the punch. I'm assuming that town manager has no comments. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2017-24, a resolution accepting a petition for annexation establishing October 3rd, 2017 as the date of public hearing on the requested annexation of a parcel of unincorporated territory located in Loudoun County, State Highway 66, annexation number 7.
Second.
Okay, I waited this time. Thank you. We have a motion and a second on this subject. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. What would happen if I'd had some coffee tonight?
I know.
Okay, next, agreement for professional services. Mr. Rankin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. As I outlined in my report, the last few years we've been contracting with Big Al Security. Long story short, the gentleman that owned that company has since sold it. One of the partners has now got back into the business of it. I got to know the two individuals when we worked with them. I really enjoyed working with them. The police department did as well. So I'm simply making a change in contract request for security for Code 4. The fact that they're more local and we had a good working relationship with them in the past. Big Al Security is now based out of the Denver area. Code 4 Security still would be Fort Collins and Greeley area, and they employ more security officers in the local area, which doesn't kind of mean to get it there. But the former Greeley PD officer is the main partner on this Code 4 Security company. So I just feel more comfortable with them. When I ran it by the chief, and I think he feels the same. Contracts are exactly the same requirements as before with the same rate, same requirements.
And the renters pay that.
And it's a pass-through unless we use them. And actually this year, talking to the chief, because of a little bit of extra staffing, we're not going to contract with them. We're going to, with the, for SRO and Travis or the code enforcement are going to help out. We should be just fine. And that's going to save us significant costs. That's all I have to say on this.
Anybody have any questions? I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the agreement for professional services with Code 4 Security Services LLC as presented and authorized the mayor to execute.
Do I have to have,
Yes.
this financial?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Adrian Sandoval.
Aye.
Kim Nelson.
Aye.
Michael Cowper. Hope Morris.
Yes.
Troy Blum.
Aye.
Larry Clark.
Motion carried. Are those guys as big as the other guys were?
Yeah, those guys.
Well, in all honesty, to answer that question, a lot of the security officers are working in this general area. Since there's been this change, have come back again to be able to stay local. So I don't know if it will be or not, but
Okay, next, purchase of police handheld radios. Mr. Rankin.
thank you. I'm going to ask the chief provider to present this to the board and discuss a little more in detail. Chief?
Thank you. I'm just gonna show you what I'm talking about here.
Could you pull the mic up, please, Chief? Sorry, I want to get this all on, get all the meetings recorded properly.
So Wireless Advanced advised that, and this was several years ago, they said that our handheld radios as of the year 2019 will expire. They won't be able to work on them anymore, and same thing with our units in the cars. And so my crew, whenever he was here, he set some money aside. I was advised by Wireless that Weld County Sheriff's Office, they just spent, I think, $2.5 million, I think, on new radios. So they were nice enough to offer it to all small agencies 20% off of all of our Motorola handheld radios, and it will expire at the end of this year. So I thought it was a good opportunity for us to go ahead, and even though we have till the end of 2019 to go ahead and update them now. The new radios will be Motorola, a lot like this one. They'll be a little bit smaller. They'll be water resistant, just like this. Right now in the high school and the middle school and the hospital, you can't hear anything. So these new ones are supposed to work a lot better. So hopefully it's well worth the money that we have to spend to have them replaced. So we're hoping to go ahead with transitioning to the new radios by the end of this year, and then next year maybe setting money aside for the radios that go inside of the units inside the cars. So I don't know a whole lot of information as far as all the science and whatnot behind the radios, but I'll answer what I can if you guys have any other questions.
We have to purchase these all at once. There's $25,000, is that a...
Well, as the chief indicated, we have until the end of the year. Right now in the budget, there's $20,000 set aside for this purchase. And Carl first gave me an estimate of just over 20 for 9. As we talked, I recommended getting 10. Number one, be a backup, but also our code enforcement technician can use it because they'll be communicating with dispatch as well, so it makes sense to get the whole 10. I don't know the reason to split it up, now in a few more months, like, the fund balance in law enforcement equipment training fund, it's not general fund money, it's law enforcement equipment training fund. It's currently just over 60,000 fund balance in your financials. Estimated revenue throughout the end of the year between fines and their contracts with the school district and Gilchrist, another 20,000 roughly. And budget right now, expenditures are estimated at $56,000. That's what we budgeted for expenditures. We don't anticipate spending all that. But to date, because the CMAC vehicle and the contract that we, not contract, but we do donation for low county victim services, they'll support that program. Expenditures today are $22,000. So what I'm getting at, there's money in the budget. We might go over budget expenditures slightly. We may have to do a budget amendment, but I'm very comfortable with the numbers. And then we'll talk budget coming up next few months, so that the chief indicated rather because cardio expense. So I support the chief's desire to purchase these now because of the 20% savings on the radios.
Right.
You said 20%?
20%
Yeah.
now.
So does this reflect...
Now you're speaking my language.
It does, okay.
Well, that's better to do it now and then do the cars later, because otherwise we have to come up with double the amount of money by 2019, so.
Well, and if we absolutely had to, we can operate with these from inside of our units. I mean, if for some reason we didn't have the money to get the new ones in the cars, we can operate off our handheld inside the car. That's not ideal. We for sure want to separate them, but if we had to, they're operational inside the vehicles too.
So how long are these new ones supported?
I don't know. Motorola, they like to make money, and so they'll make they'll make something only okay for X amount of years, then you have to redo it. This isn't the first time. Whenever I first got hired here, we had Motorola radios, but they weren't these. I think we got these in '06, and they've been working until now. So
That's what I was wondering,
long
when we got
time.
these.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of time, I think. Okay.
And then in law enforcement, Carl and I talked about this, it's like our IT services, radios, NDTs, cameras, and computers. They're always upgraded, as you will know. And we're under the string with Motorola and Dispatch because they have a contract. And as Carl indicated years ago, we had the old 450 radios. They were the dinosaur big ones, and we went to this one. At that time, luckily, the feds came across because this was a nationwide change in '06, and they came up with some money. That's when I first became chief myself, and they had some extra radios we got for free. That's not the case this time. We don't get the handouts of these.
So 20% off is good.
Yeah, they didn't
Take it.
Question real quick, Carl. Are the card mounted radios also 3% off until December 31st?
Mhm.
So So I would say let's wait a few months and see what the budget does, if the money's there. Utilize that 20%, we may look at finishing that purchase, but we'll play that by ear, if that's okay with the board.
Are the car ones comparable in price or more?
I think they're around the same, maybe a little more, but we need less. We have more handheld radios than we do cars, so at the end of the day, I think it'll be around the same amount as the pack sets.
Let's keep
Might
that
be
on the
good to do
radar.
that this year.
Let's keep that on the radar and look, check back, let's contact them or
Yeah.
I appreciate the chief's forthrightness over political correctness.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, I would entertain a motion, or does anybody have any questions or comments on this? We need the chief to be able to talk. I'd entertain a motion on this.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of handheld radios for the police department as presented. Second.
Okay. Do we want to put,
I know more than
some
Yeah.
monetary amount on this?
for 10 of them, for no more.
For 10 units.
For 10 units, and this is, I assume this is a fixed quote, not an exceed?
Yes, sir, this is it.
I would suggest that as well.
It's just amended.
Amend it to, not to exceed, $25,108.20.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second on this. We did get a second, didn't we?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Kim Nelson,
Aye.
Michael Cowper, Hope Morris,
Yes.
Troy Blum,
Aye.
Larry Clark,
All right.
Adrian Sandoval.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Well, I managed to blunder my way through this. Let's see if we can do a better job on reports. Police chief, oh, he's getting the floor a lot tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have anything to add on my report. I just wanted to let you guys know that we've received several applications for our advertised SRO and line officer spot, so hopefully we'll hire someone good. I'm sure we will. They're starting to roll in a little bit.
When it comes to filling the SRO position, chief, can we hire somebody fresh out of the academy to fill that position, or do we ask for a few years of experience before we?
If somebody who's fresh out of the academy and they want to be an SRO, they want it for the wrong reason. Because it's not why one usually wants to go through an academy, to go work in a school. I'm not minimizing the SROs by any means. I'm just saying, usually, if someone's fresh out of the academy, it's because they want to work on the road, on a line, as a line officer. Once in a while, once someone is a line officer for a while, then they want to go work in the schools, but it's not real. So, the answer is yes, I guess, that's something, but then we are running into the same issues we were with Officer Helwick, in that you can each go through an FTO and an SRO, and we're a year out before getting them ready to go and handle calls and work in the school. So it's an option. It's not something I want to necessarily do. It would be ideal if somebody was an SRO or was a seasoned officer, another MAT, that would want to work in the school.
Okay.
Let's see what we get.
As a footnote, you were very commanding looking, stopping traffic on southbound 85 today.
I just happened to be swinging over there and someone made a wrong right-hand turn in your lot, is that what he said?
They were trying to get across the railroad tracks,
They were going the wrong way.
but they couldn't because that thing only had this much clearance with a dozer on it. So what they did, I don't know if you probably didn't stay and watch, they came in my lot, made a U-turn, and they got all straight, and when the traffic cleared, they made a beeline and they skidded that trailer over the railroad track. It's in public now, so if the railroad sees that, they may not be happy with it. It was very intriguing watching him. He had a real head of steam when he did that.
Chief, is there any special patrol on Monday during the eclipse, or you going to?
So, I think everyone's a little bit worried that everyone's gonna smack into one another on the highways, you wanna swing over and take snapshots and whatnot. So, CSP and everybody is gonna be on the highways a little bit more, making sure no one's shutting the highway down with their cars sitting on the shoulder taking pictures.
It never even occurred to me.
It's been all over, both counties, and
Well, they're-
over us too.
No, they're saying on TV, they're afraid everybody's gonna smash into each other. Somebody was
Yeah.
saying they expect the population of Wyoming to double.
Oh, I believe it.
That's really
I believe it. Yeah.
We were gonna go up there and the
They're having-
hotels are booked all the way down here, so I thought, well, we're good.
They're having 3-day concerts like Woodstock and everything up there.
Up in Casper, yeah. Yeah.
Versus this weekend, it's Harvest Days, man.
I don't get out much.
Can't get your bike that far up.
Yeah, right, I can't ride my bike that far. Wow, you know, that just didn't even occur to me. Usually the biggest problem we have with traffic is when the steam train comes through. It's a debacle then, because everybody's, they're either trying to drive beside it, or they're parking ahead of it, behind it, it's just insanity.
We just had the circus train on B2 and so on.
There was a wreck in front of my place because of the circus train when it came.
You don't see it every day.
No, I'm glad. That guy was not happy when he did that.
Chief, I got a question for you about the, some of the activity that's been happening in the neighborhoods, and I've seen, I just downloaded the app last month, Nextdoor.
Yes.
And are you the one that's responded to those, the communications on that as a?
I have, I'm not the only one though. All officers, if they want to, they can respond and then you just send it over to me and then I send it on to Barry, the town.
Well, I think it's a great tool. I just, you know, that you guys are on there and immediate feedback to the community, saying, you know, because they was, you know, bashing with our officers, you know, somebody, you know, the county had come and had an immediate response, so you can clarify, so there's not these rumors and people starting to bash our police department, so
Exactly right.
I think that's very, I mean, there's a lot of good communication out there, and it's for the people in the community that are involved in that, and using that tool to communicate activities and whatever that's going on in our community is I don't know if the town's looked at that but it's a pretty good resource.
Wasn't the police department putting together a Facebook page?
We have one. It's,
I got you to 43 likes.
Nice, thank you.
You weren't liking it all night yourself.
No, I only counted one, but I tagged everybody.
Can you advertise that on Nextdoor so people are familiar?
Sure.
Do you have one?
I wasn't sure if we have or not, but if we haven't, that's a good idea.
I do want to add, and Mary and I talked about this just because of open record, we do save all transmittal that we send out. I know David, I asked him to send out one for Bible Next Door. Devin, our deputy clerk, handles pretty much our Facebook account. Mary, our website, and our marquee after the Everbridge. But we need to track all that information, and we do that. And Mary does that through a file, so I communicate and send it to me and to Mary. So for you as a board, if you're sending out something as a trustee representing the board, we need to record that. So I just want you to be aware of that. So if you want us to send out on behalf of the board, we'll be happy to. It's an easier chain of command as far as doing that. But if you send something out as representing yourself as a trustee, we need to know that information so we can track it. Is that fair to say, Mary?
Correct.
Yes. So it's just the world we live in. So we just want to be very careful. It's a great tool, but we have to use it properly. So.
Well, at CNL, they talked a lot about Facebook pages for the towns. I think it's a good thing.
Anybody have anything else for the chief?
Yes, I've been hearing a lot of compliments for us regarding our police, so thank you. It's very much appreciated.
Awesome, thank you.
Good things are happening.
We'll keep it up, thanks.
Thanks, chief.
Chief, I got one more thing. Fine Love's been on the police department for a while, or even, or some kind of, we do have some kind of, a plaque or something for service, or any of the officers that have been, you know, longevity, do we, everything that we give the officers on something like that?
She's worked here just under 3 years, so we're having a meal, a nice lunch.
Mary's making, what time is that? And,
11 o'clock on Thursday.
We usually have just an informal send-off for staff, just something to eat or something very informal. If they're here longer, obviously they go to the next level, but for someone, 3 to 4 years under, we usually, just like with Luke, we let them folks. So, yeah.
It's awesome that we have an employer who will do such a thing. It's just not a task.
I'm just holding the party that.
Mary's in charge, everybody knows.
But we do, that's just how we work, so.
okay. Is that all? Thanks, Carl. Sir, Public Works Director. Now, here's a guy that we talk to him all night long before his report, and he hasn't said a word tonight. It's your turn, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. I do not have anything additional to add to the report at this time. If there's any questions about it, I'd be happy to attempt to answer those. And speaking of food, we were teasing Luke that when he left and went to Boulder that the food benefits were probably going to go away, but he informed Todd the other day that they fed him twice on his first day, so I'm not sure. They're trying to keep up, I guess.
How are we looking on that, Veterans Memorial?
The Veterans Memorial, I can answer briefly. Troy has definitely been ramrodding that one, so I would defer to him. The last couple of weekends, they have poured miscellaneous portions of the flat work to be done up there, some of the footers. The footer for the sign was poured this last weekend. Part of the sidewalks were poured this last weekend, most of the flat work. They've got another pour on Saturday morning that they're going to be doing, some additional flat work in the sidewalks and gutters. And then sidewalks are the following weekend. I don't mean to steal your thunder, Bob, but, okay. The shelter has been delivered early, so it will be going in starting next week. The light poles are supposed to go up Friday or Monday. I don't remember which. Mike Evans was expecting delivery on those. I'm meeting next week while Troy's gone with our IT and camera consultants to make sure that we've got what we need to do to get that up and going. I don't know what the schedule is for actually mounting the raised monuments, the flagstone monuments that go in. I haven't heard from Mr. Nelson, Jim Nelson, the contractor, when that is, but
I can add a little bit more.
that the.
No, you did great.
I'm fumbling.
No, yeah, in the last 4 or 5 days, I've probably been up there 20 times. I went up there Saturday, then Sunday, spent quite a bit of time up there. Mr. Nelson has big jobs elsewhere, so he brings his crew on the weekends, and all over the weekends, so Mr. Evans and seeing my wife. To add to what David said, the concrete pours this Saturday and then next Saturday. The issues I needed to let the board know, it's going to look pretty close to the picture, but it's not going to be exact, because the elevations were off a little bit, the drainage, so the sidewalks will be a little bit lower, so we can get the drainage off of what the water away from the boardwalk. A lot of that's going to be somewhat resolved in the landscaping plan when that gets completed, to draw water away from those monuments. As far as the monuments, I talked to Tammy over there, our point of contact with Triple Stone, they're done. And they're ready to be picked up by Mr. Nelson when he's ready to install them, but we can finish doing the concrete pours first. Ken Cosper with the shelter, he did call, said the shelter came in a week early. And he said, you have your building permit, so I sent that safe up this morning with all the engineering drawings. And Mr. Karen put a rush on it, so that was taken care of. And Mr. Evans and his employee Luke have been running a lot of time up there. It's gonna come together really fast in the next couple of weeks. Minus the landscaping, we're taking our time, because they're gonna do, that's gonna be a kind of unified road with some others involved with the high school and the Rory. Right now, I'm looking at, we still have a lot of finishing touches to do, probably, and I need to talk to the committee about that, the move along committee. But, probably October timeframe. This next month, I want to do something for the senior center. So,
And we're doing okay on the money thing with contractors?
I'm writing some big checks now, so I've got my fingers crossed. There have been some change orders. I mean, for example, the shed where it was supposed to go got moved back closer to the grotto wall, so that had more concrete. And I've had to make a lot of quote-unquote executive decisions. That's why Jim Nelson calls me like every 30 minutes on the weekend. So I just go up there, like I just mow the yard. And then we had to, kind of modify the sidewalk. It was 9 feet on one section and 6 foot on another. We had to kind of cut a little bit to make the cost fit the concrete that went over by the shed. Those are the details I had to work with. And same thing with Mr. Evans. They didn't have exact location for the lights, based on the picture, just kind of spray paint. I said, one goes here, one goes here. That's what I've been doing. So,
Thank you.
sure, no, it doesn't bother me, Mike was up there with me, they just kind of hang out. But thank you, David, good job.
On the landscaping, are they going to wait until everything is absolutely done, people done traipsing around and driving machinery around before they start that final?
Basically, we have to get
I would think so.
the crews in and out there. I do want to talk regarding our landscaping and making sure that, so that happens, like this Thunder, we have a trench and dam for with all that concrete, and we just have basically filtered up there, you're gonna have some washouts. So we've got, if you go up there, you'll see that we're cutting some trenches to keep water away until the landscaping's in, so it'll be dealt with appropriately. So, David, turn back to you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
That aerator, how'd that turn out?
It's still off.
Okay. So you haven't told us.
We're in full harvest days mode at this point.
Oh,
We don't
yeah,
have time to
yeah.
be on the lagoon. So it was shut down to avoid any additional damage, but I suspect that we will probably be taking it up to get it rebuilt up at Farley's Machine Shop up on the hill here where we took the last one.
Okay.
So, okay.
You want to talk about your harvest day schedule, or do you want to get home with it? Pretty full.
Yeah. I guess the only additional note, now that we've talked long enough, it came to mind, I did hear from Sergeant Quintana today. He will be back with us August 28th. He made sure he missed harvest days before he goes on the first one. And I've got the text to prove it, so.
Military man never volunteers for anything.
We learned. Never volunteered.
Are you pleased with the chip seal?
So far, we've been, I feel like it has gone really well. I believe I referenced that we'll be doing the rest of it, weather permitting, September 30th, and whatever that first Monday is, October 2nd or October 3rd, whatever it is there. They wanted to come in this weekend and do it, and I said, no, that's not going to happen. And they were thinking school was already out on Mondays. They're trying to fit us back in to get that portion done in between their other jobs that they're, wrapping up Monday through Friday kind of thing, come back in and finish that up. So if the weather cooperates and we have decent weather into the end of September, then we'll get that second layer put on, and that will be from 66 all the way to Grand on Division, and then from Division to River on Goodrich. And we're putting the same size 3/8 chip down again. They were originally going to leave those two streets. They normally don't put a fog coat or the black sealant over the top of those when they're coming in with the second layer right away. But I told them for harvest days and everything else, we couldn't leave it looking like a gravel road. If it was going to be 6-8 weeks before they got back, we had to go ahead and get it fogged in. So But overall, I've been pleased. There was one maybe 18-inch by 10 to 12 inches wide down in the bus turnout down by the middle school that they didn't get their tack oil down quite right in that one spot. That's the only spot that I've seen. So
Someone might touch us, maybe.
I've had a lot of compliments from people about how it turned out. They felt like it was turned out well.
Yes,
So
I think it's the best that we've seen.
Yeah, I agree, it looks terrific. So it'll only improve from there.
Was there an issue with them spraying property on accident?
Well, we did get a report. I met with the gentleman, I'm drawing a blank on the name, Justin Herring, at the Sharp Shop, the truck shop on Goodrich. He showed me, it appears to be some overspray, and he's not even exactly sure how that happened, because the spray bars that they used are only about 12 inches off the ground when they did it. We must have had just a wrong wind direction at the time. If they go in the other direction, then all been in the field and nobody had known anything. He had several vehicles in his lot that appeared to have this, and we have put him in contact with A1 and with their, the person in their office that handles that and deals with their insurance and takes care of that. So I met with him today. He was pleased with how the road turned out. He was, I hadn't had an opportunity to meet him at all before, so it was a good opportunity to do that. He was frustrated that it had happened, but he wasn't mad at A1, he wasn't mad at the town, and that wasn't the report that I initially got, but he was real laid back about it, and so gave him the information and told him that as the town, we're gonna stay out of the middle of it, because we're not the insurer, we're not the adjuster, we're not anybody else. So he said that he would take care of contacting them and seeing what could be done and go from there, so.
And actually, anyone sweeper smacked in a car on the road, just a side note, I worked that accident. She got let go.
I saw the accident report and I thought it was ours. I didn't realize it wasn't ours.
Anybody else have anything for the town manager or the public works director?
I do, Mr. Mayor.
Oh,
Yeah.
go
I had
for
the
it.
opportunity to meet with David a week or so ago and got a very thorough tour and explanation of the sewer lagoons, the lift stations, the pumps, and the general status of the system, and for which I'd like to publicly thank him for his time and his very thorough explanation of the system. I sure appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Did you get to get your hands in there?
I did, and I don't swim as fast as I used to. But I had a good teacher.
Okay. Next, we have our esteemed attorney.
Hello. So, all the items except for the last one of my report you've already approved, so I'm happy to talk about some more if you have any questions. The last item is just what's something that's coming up. I think we had originally talked about setting this for this evening, but we decided to set it for September 5th. That is this explosive bunker. You've seen one before in a different location, but it's an explosive bunker. So they'll be presenting that on September 5th. There'll be a public hearing for the planning commission first at 6, and then a public hearing for the board at 7.
Where are they wanting to locate
We
this?
can't really talk about the details,
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, because it's not.
because it's not there, it's not before you yet, and they're not here to listen.
Oh.
So they'll present their application at that time. I just wanted to let you know that we were working on it and that the notice is out. So if you hear anything, it's on September 5th.
Who's the party that's?
KLX.
Where are they located?
I don't.
Not originally, I'm not sure where they came from.
That they're in town here?
Not yet.
That's what they want to come.
Yeah.
But we don't know what they're purchasing some of our buildings or complexes.
It's an industrial property in town limits.
That's all I have, but I'm happy to answer questions as well.
Everybody good?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see how easily the town manager gets away with it. Your turn, Mr. Rankin.
Like walking, you got logging like that. Also on the 5th, besides the planning commission, the board of trustees meeting, the agenda's fairly light. So we're talking to Marion and also David Green. I'm gonna start some preliminary budget conversations with the board. I know it's that time of year again, but, quickly, I want to present, here in 2 weeks, Mr. Woodruff from the assessor's office send all his assessed valuations, so I should have a number to start. The rest of them are fairly estimations, and some numbers I get from like HGTUF and severance tax and so forth, but the property tax is our primary revenue source, so I wait for that before we start putting together our revenues forecasting. So I want to present that to the board. No fund balances or expenditure conversations, we're not even close to that either. This is not worksheets to the staff this week. But do that, Mary and I need to talk to the board, Mary needs to talk to the board about next spring's election, because depending on what you decide how the election should be, mail-in or ballot is going to affect our cost. So we need to talk about that. And then also, I'm working on, if I have it done in time, along with a budget conversation, I'll present to the board a new updated survey for wages and benefits and costs for employment. That's been a big topic. One thing I've changed is some of the towns have grown in the last 3 years since I've done the survey. So Milliken is no longer being used because they're almost close to 7,000 now. So what I'm using for Weld County, close proximity, because we're in that weird 3,000 population category, and you're hard to
How
find.
about the size of Wiggins?
I want to go out to Kansas for comparison, but
Doesn't seem that far.
we try to stay in our geographic area because of the market and the economy. But I'm looking at Tacoma, Lockwood, Meade, and Eaton. I'm adding Meade and Eaton because they're now Eaton's always been there, but they're a little further north. Meade I'm adding because they're now becoming pretty much a fully functional government with police department. They've always had public works. They've had some new staff members. They've had quite a changeover, but they're around 4,400 population. There's a 3 or just over 5,000. I think Tacoma's still under 5 barely. And then for the smaller comparison, I'm using LaSalle, Kersey, Alt, and Hudson. Because now they're adding police departments, so I can compare better to them. And unfortunately, I'm just going to put the cat in the bag. These brand new police departments are paying a lot more money to get new officers for part-time agencies. That's how they have to do it. So that's going to come your way. For just above us, or just below us, and that's the best I can find in Weld County.
LaSalle, Kersey, Alt,
And Hudson. They're between 15 and LaSalle's, I think, 2,100 now population. And then I use Upstate Colorado website, and it's real easy to maneuver. I don't use DOLA, the numbers can be used either way. You Google Upstate Colorado, and one of the top lines, you'll see community profile. You click on that, you can go through that so quickly. You get a snapshot of Platteville, then you hit the website, you can research the website. It's a great resource. And I'm using that as my resource base. I want to put together the spreadsheet so by the end of the week before Harvest Days, and give those to Mary, send out to all the different clerks in these 8 communities. So when I get back to work, and I'll say that here in a minute, then hope I can put together the report. So yes, the size budget begins. So. And each regular meeting, if it's a fairly light schedule, I'll attack a little bit of the budget. But as we get into that, I didn't have a confirmed schedule yet, but I'm looking at the week of the 3rd and 4th of September. The 4th weekend of September, I don't have the dates in front of me, I forgot to write them down. Adrian, I don't know if you have this in front of you.
Yes.
That Tuesday and that Wednesday.
The third week,
Of the 4th week.
so 25th and 26th.
So the 25th, 26th, and then,
Monday, Tuesday,
Tuesday, Wednesday.
26th, 27th.
And we typically have kept budgets on Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday's a normal night to remember, whether it be a board night or not, and then Wednesdays. Mondays and Fridays are typically out of the question. Once in the blue moon, we use a Thursday. But,
Monday Night Football, right?
hey, I want to get budget done for the World Series this year. In 14 and 15, when the roles were in it, I had to be here, okay? So.
Are they even gonna make it?
No.
I haven't seen it.
Sound like the kids last night, the black ones before the roll next to you, he about ready to be out of the house. So, anyway, I'm looking at those 2 nights, and I'll send out a confirmed schedule. I'll work with Mary and David Green to make sure they're available. I actually like to take a minute and defer to Mary as town clerk to give a brief update on our finance clerk's position at this time, if I may. Mary? I know, 3 on the spot.
Whoa. We have, the gathering of applications closed, on Monday. We have probably, 15 applicants, as in every instance where we ask for applicants. They're all over the board, from, I pay my bills at home, to I have a master's and a CPA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some of them I don't understand, but we have a couple of candidates that have some municipal experience, and several that have done a lot of this type work, but in the private sector without municipal experience. I talked to Ashley Green for quite a long time today, because she knows Cassell and has come from a private sector into government, and says as long as people understand the processes, that the fund accounting will fall into place. So, I'm gonna try to set up some appointments, probably the middle to end of next week. Hopefully we can get them all in one day. I'd like to interview 5, maybe 6, depending on availability. And we've asked David and or Ashley, and are trying to get a representative from our bank to sit on the interview committee, because every other department is short people. And I don't want to pull more from that just to sit and ask questions about things that their departments are really not all that interested in to begin with. So, wish us luck. I think we have some good choices out there, but, you know, on paper and live in person are sometimes different things.
Yeah, that's very good.
So it should be soon. We also have, as I was hoping that we could possibly get the candidate into Cassell training, but I found out today that that's closed. The users, the Cassell users, local users group, it's not in Las Vegas. It's not their annual conference, but they have regions, and they host mini trainings in those regions periodically. And we do have Charlene set to attend that for the utility billing functions. So one way or another, we'll get that expertise from that users group training.
Good.
And that's the end of this month.
Thank you, Mary. Any questions for the staff? Okay. So I'll wrap up real quick. That's probably.
Oh, take your time, we got all night.
They don't mean 30 bucks, but I knew that was important. Real quickly, I'm not gonna talk about Harvest Days, I don't know what's gonna happen starting this Friday. Everybody knows the schedule. I'm gonna put out another Everbridge tomorrow night. That's went out last Friday. It's on all our social outlets, so we've got possibly half. We have 4 Harvest Days banners, third weekend of August out there.
It looks fantastic.
Sewer Lagoon, race services over by our Riverview Park, and then, where's the 4th one, Dave?
Yeah.
town hall.
You never come in the front door.
I come in the back door. I come in the back door, okay?
So it's not like the old days, they're all still there?
So far. Well, like the sewer lagoon and ready service is fairly decent. You can't really walk to it, you have to drive to it. You could, but, and then whenever you park it, make sure they put up 8 foot high out of hands. So if they want to shimmy that pole that bad, then that they can have the banner.
I think it catches eyes up that high too.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Senior Center update. I spoke with the project manager from TCC, her name is Marguerite. I'm trying to set the meeting that lasted 2 weeks, the last meeting in August, to discuss scheduling, to discuss a ceremonial groundbreaking for the senior organization, which would be probably sometime in September. And she says, you understand, we're probably going to be moving dirt until Thanksgiving, if not Christmas, because once and then the contract signed tonight, so we'll send that to them tomorrow. Then their engineers get together, their electrical, mechanical, structural, confirm the plans, work out any details. Part of the reason why I'm going to meet with them, I'm going to ask our local electrician that has worked on that building for many years to he's got a couple of suggestions, and that's all, just for future use, for harvest stage, for bands, so forth. I thought it'd be a good time now. So we're not reinventing anything. If there's any change orders, we'll discuss and bring back to the board. But, so there'll be a ceremonial groundbreaking, so we'll have some hard hats and some shovels, but we'll coordinate when we're gonna do that, when we meet in a couple of weeks. I met with the seniors a week ago Monday, and the initial thought was doing it on a Monday, when they already meet. And I jokingly said, well, I don't wanna do a ceremonial groundbreaking, then need the nutrition center meal, I wanna have steak. So all of a sudden, I have 20 seniors think I wanna grill some steaks. On probably a Wednesday or something, so we'll figure it out. And staff will be supporting me because they'll probably get some food too. But that's where the senior center update is we're getting closer. But the reason for the delay is it's a steel frame building that has to be engineered. So it takes 12 to 16 weeks to get that back. So we're looking at a window of late 2017. Now, if they can get the footers and the concrete engineering done first, then they can actually put those in. Then when the building comes in, if all goes well, they'll put the building up and then shell it and then work on the inside. Finish the outside with the thoughts.
Did you stress to them that our concern is always the temperature when we pour that concrete?
Yeah, we had a conversation, and of course, that's actually, she brought it up. You know, if we have a winter like we did last year, we'll be fine. But some winters, you know, you have a hard frost on Halloween and it never really warms up. So but we have a May time frame of completion, so we should be fine. Because once the frame gets erected, a lot will happen, because it's all inside job.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but, other than that, the last thing is I will be at, Mary knows this, and my staff knows this, I'll be out of the office next week. Town hall is closed on Monday, because I want to give the staff an extra day, because they do work long on Friday night and all day Saturday from.
So they could do the eclipse.
Something like that. I didn't think about that.
I know.
Does that mean I have to be up before noon?
Pretty much.
11:47?
Is that when it is our time? Okay. I might go to Wyoming.
Are you gonna fly? I don't think you're gonna drive.
But I will be out pretty much all next week. I'm gonna leave Monday, I'll get back toward the end of the week. One of my parents, my mother's having some knee replacement surgery. So I'm gonna go, Joe's gonna take care of her, but probably my father more so.
Keep your eye on him.
He called him White Coat Hospital, he does not do good in hospitals, and he don't really miss back to anybody, so. So I'm gonna do some TLC, all my brothers are either truck drivers or they're teaching, and they just can't take time off, so I'm gonna head back. So, anything comes up, staff, keep me informed, I have a laptop, I'll be checking emails every day, working at night, and then I'll be back next week. So my family, all my neighbors, take care of the property, we're all good, so.
Tell them to watch mine too.
What's that?
Tell them to watch mine too.
So if there's any major emergencies, Mr. Brandt is inter-manager in my absence, as you all know.
Yeah, because I'm leaving when? Wednesday? I'm leaving Wednesday.
So between.
So Mr. Brand is gonna be.
He's it.
He is everybody.
If I made it back from Wyoming.
And actually, after a long summer so far and some FTO training, the chief has taken a couple days off, so Mary and David will be in charge next week.
All right, party.
David and Holt are gonna run the entire
We got.
Platteville Empire.
When did you want that party, chief? No.
So any questions for me, otherwise I know we have an executive session come up here if you need to after this.
Anybody have any new business or any comments?
I just have,
Yes, ma'am.
to let you guys know, I've been in contact with Dawn Rangel, the superintendent for the school district, and I'm going to be part of the oversight committee, the transparency, let people know what's going on, make sure they're staying on task and focused, and letting people know basically what's going on, what's happening, why things don't look like they're really happening, but they are, as we all know, there's like the behind the scenes stuff going on, so.
It's a bond.
Yes, the bond and all the work to be done, so.
Good, good. So then we have you as a resource for when we're curious.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Kind of damage control, if you remember sometimes take it out.
Yeah, the rumors get pretty, you don't get, we don't know, you don't get a hold of them.
Sure, I understand that. Anything else? Then we stand in recess.
Bye.
Oh, sure. Anything
And
with town
I would
manager.
ask Mr. Brand and obviously the town attorney to participate.
Okay.
We will need, do you want to do the motion now to enter into executive session, or do you want to, I think that would be better.
Let's do the motion now, then take a recess and then we can.
Okay. Do we have a motion to enter into executive session?
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session.
For the purpose of, I'm just going to add.
Okay.
Pursuant to CRS 2464-248, to consider the purchase, acquisition, lease, transfer, or sale of any real, personal, or other property interest, and pursuant to CRS 2464-024E, to determine positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, develop a strategy for negotiations, and/or instruct negotiators for which a topic cannot be disclosed without compromising the purpose of the executive session.
Glad you said that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor? All opposed? Hearing none, we stand in session, we'll meet in 5 minutes, I suppose, in the conference room? Yes.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that? Sorry?
I'm in the truck, yes.
We're having some.
Why not? I'm trying to figure out if I'm staying.
Troy's son, and Andrew's gonna ride in there with me.
Oh, yeah?
That's my big, LMTV truck.
Oh, cool.
I don't wanna get a lumpy, I wanna get a big one, so I have the weight limit in the town.
Well, so my youngest daughter actually ends up coming with me, and she wants to be in the parade.
Yeah, it has 3 seats in it.
She's like, Dad, can I be in the parade for candy? I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be in the parade, I'm gonna
I'm gonna be
setting up
managing and
everything else,
That's what we're thinking about, last year.
No kidding.
Security guys that were at the gate, we need to put like a canopy over the gate so that when people,
It's just the
right.
No, you're right.
And
If I've got a couple of the smaller ones, we'll put them,
And I'm gonna have a house, in my backyard, but I have a canopy, we need a canopy.
well, if we do, I'll let you know. I think we're okay, but, so.
Because I think, I saw, there's an army in the yard, and they're out there. And I saw the truck there,
We did provide some suntan lotion to them, but that didn't seem to help them keep their last. Attorney, town manager, Brand, I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna roll on the left, but.
You're gonna be in there, aren't you?
No.
No.
Oh,
Tristan, off you go.
oh, good, okay.
Uh-huh.
We're good.
Do you need day tags? Have you forgotten already who? I'll
No.
put them away.
I may get all wound up, but with the ADD, my memory is really extraordinary.
You do a fine job.
With my eyes on it, it looks like I got home at 1:30 last night. That meeting, my board meeting was there this morning.
Where was that at? Denver? They're doing a lot of stuff.
No, they're doing absolutely nothing.
It's just so much fun that they.
That's what it is.
Oh, no, that's okay, we always have to wipe off that glass. It doesn't have almost anything on it right now, but I know there,
That's okay.
because everybody's going into budget, a lot of the side meetings are off the books right now.
Sure.
But I will start getting stuff even for next year, very soon. So I'll send you, I'll tell you as soon as I have it.
I appreciate it.
And that's always in the Dropbox as well.
Well, I don't have my iPad and I can't populate my calendar then.
I know.
Thank you.
I called them
I
again.
usually try to get it out of there.
I called them again this afternoon,
Mhm.
so hopefully I'll get some feedback from you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.